So I'm just taking the length of the top parts, and I added 1 inches because I'll be joining this to the shorts, so I don't want it to affect my actual measurement. So I'll join 1 inches and take 17 inches as my length. After I am done, I'll just go ahead and take the shoulder. My shoulder is 16 inches divided by 2 gives you 8 inches. And from that point, I'll take my shoulder slope. Okay guys, so after taking my shoulder slope, I'll connect this to the neckline. From the slope, the 1.5 inches slope, I'll take my armhole. Armhole is 16 also divided by 2 gives you 8 inches, and then I'll rule a line from there, so I'll indicate the point. Now from the top of the fabric, I'll take my bust point and then my waist point. I wouldn't change a thing, 'cause in the story of our lives, the best of times through color glass. Before I go ahead and start breaking my measurement into 4, I'll just rule a line on the armhole point. So I'll be dividing my round bust by 4 plus 1 inch allowance, and then I'll repeat the same thing on the waist. I'll divide my round waist by 4 plus 1 inch allowance. Then I'll connect the points together to the length. Before I go ahead and cut this out, I'll make a curve on the armhole just as seen on the video, and then this is the front piece. I'll just go ahead and cut this out. If you're lost right now and you don't know how I got to this point, okay, just go check out my previous video on how to make crop top pattern. You can use that. I have 2 videos on how to make crop top pattern and how to make the crop top itself, so just go check that out. That should be a guideline. All you have to do is, add inches to the length of the crop top if you want to use it to make a jumpsuit or a play suit or a dress. Just add few inches to it and yeah, you're good to go. Okay, so this is for the back piece. In the process of making this play suits, I realized that I didn't want the zip to be at the back, but that was too late because I already went ahead to make out space for the zip allowance. So I decided to put the zip at the side. So yeah, go ahead and skip this part of the video, but this is how you take zip allowance for your back piece on the top. From the 2 inches I created for the zip allowance, I'll go ahead and place my front piece and then trace this out, like cut this out. Okay, so I'll just still go ahead and tell you how you take your zip allowance for the top, the back piece of your top. You go ahead and take your underbust points. From the underbust point, you take 1 inches. On the neckline, that's the shoulder, you take 1.5 inches, and you connect this straight to your underbust, which is 1 inches, and your waist point, which is 1 inches. My one shoulder neckline, this is how I was able to achieve it. There is no actual measurement I used. I just freestyled this, as you can see on the video. From the center front of your front piece, I went into the other side by 2.5 inches, looking at it, I think 2.5 inches, and then I connected this to where the armhole is sitting on the other side of this front piece. You guys, I can make an actual detailed video for you guys if you want to know how to make a one shoulder neckline, but for this video, yeah, I just freestyle it. So just go. For me to be able to transfer the one shoulder neckline on the front piece to the back piece, I have to go close up that 2 inches I created already to make it one piece. And after doing that, I'll flip this to the right side, as you can see, and then I'll place the front piece right side facing right side. It has to be right side facing right side so you don't contradict the neckline. So after placing it right side facing right side, I'll just go ahead and trace the neckline out. Make sure to check out previous video on how to draft shirts. For this next part of the video, I'll be using my pattern from previous video that I made on how to make shirts. These are the pattern, the front pattern and the back pattern. So I'll fold my fabric into two, and then I'll place this. I'll pin this neatly because I don't want it to move. And then I'll take 1 inch at the waist part because of I am joining this to the top. So I'll make the 1 inch and rule a straight line. And then I'll connect this to the other part of the pattern, and I'll cut this out. This is the back pattern. I'll repeat the same thing for the front pattern, and I will go join this. The Ankara I am using for this tutorial has the same thing on the wrong side and the right side. So to differentiate this, I have to chalk, to indicate where the wrong side is and the right side. Now let's go join this. I'm going to be using one piece from the front piece and then another piece from the back piece. I'll place them together, right side facing right side, and then I'll go sew on the crotch area and on the side.
Was wrong to say I wouldn't change a thing.
For the neckline, remember I said I was going to hem this. That's our one shoulder neckline. I'm just going to hem it by 1/2 inch. I'll fold this twice to the wrong side, and then I'll sew it by 1/2 inch. I'll make sure the same amount of fabric I'm taking on the front piece is the same amount I am hemming on the back piece, so I don't contradict this. So before I go close this in, I'm just going to make sure I take in the actual inches. So I'll place my tape on the center front, and then I will take my round waist divided by 2, half of that to the left and half of that to the right, and I'll be doing the same thing on my bust point, so I will know how many inches I am sewing this by. As you can see, I just found out the inches, and then I am ruling a straight line because that is the line I'm going to be sewing on. After sewing the top part and then the shorts, it's time for me to make this a whole playsuit. So I'm going to marry them together like this. I left the side seams open because I'll be pinning this first from there, and then I'll take this to my machine to join. Okay, so now it's time for me to attach the zip. I'm just going to go ahead and rip this open because I used the loose stitch to sew this in, so I can be able to rip this open when it's time. So now it is time for me to attach my zip. So I'll open this up, and then I'll take this to my machine to join the zip. Sleeves, this is how I always make my sleeves. Like I said, my previous video on how to make crop top, I also made a pattern for the sleeve. So this is how I always make my sleeve. I just go ahead and place my tape on the armhole and calculate whatever I have there, and then I'll cut out a fresh fabric, and then I'll go in by 3 inches and go down by 4 or 5 inches. I'll connect this. But before sewing this sleeve together, I'll just make sure I get I'll make sure what I have right now is the same thing I need for my armhole, and then I'll sew this in by 1/2 inch. Okay, so while I am joining the sleeves together, I'll go ahead and hem the base of the sleeve by 1/2 inch. And also, I'll be doing the same thing on the playsuit. That's the base. I'll hem that by 1/2 inch. And you guys, that is it for this video. We are done. Okay, so now for you to be able to understand this, like I said before, just go watch how to make a top and how to make a short. And then for you to be able to make this a playsuit, join the both of them together. But before you do that, just add 1/2 inch or 1 inch on the base of the top, and then on the waist of the shorts you add 1 or 1/2 inch on the waist. That is for the joining allowance. And you guys, there you have it. You have a playsuit.